Russians are voting on a raft of constitutional changes which could allow President Vladimir Putin to remain in power until 2036. Voters were encouraged to cast their ballots, with prize draws offering the chance to win anything from shopping vouchers to a new flat, whilst those with children receive cash payments of $140. The amendments have already been approved by both houses of parliament and signed into law. They include a clause defining marriage as a union that can only be between a man and a woman. Well, to find out more, let's talk to Julia Chapman. She joins us live from Moscow. Hello, Julia. So polls are closing shortly. Has there been any indication then as to how much support there is for these changes?
There has indeed. The polls here in Moscow are due to close in the next half hour. An hour later, they'll close in Kaliningrad, Russia's most western region. But in most of the country, the polls have already been closed. And we are already starting to get an idea of what the results may be. Now, that is an unprecedented move from the Central Election Commission to start publishing the results before all of the polls have closed. But that just goes to show what an unusual vote this is. Russians have been voting on a raft of amendments to the constitution that are governing all kinds of areas of the country, and it's a very big moment for the country. We understand that turnout as of about an hour and a half ago was just over 63%, and of the 12% of votes that have already been counted, 71 or so percent have voted in favor of these amendments. But as I say, this is a very significant moment in Russia, and here's our piece on why.
This is a vote to take the temperature of the nation. Russians have been asked what kind of future they want for their country. A broad package of changes to the constitution was put to voters, affecting everything from pensions to borders, from marriage to the structure of government. It also paves the way for Vladimir Putin, who was elected in 2000, to stay in power until 2036.
I've been alive a long time. I've seen many leaders. We've never lived the way we're living now.
I support the amendments, especially the one about Russia's territorial integrity. I think that's the most important one.
For me, the most important amendment is the one about independence from the outside. I mean, independence from European laws and all others.
The vote was postponed from April because of coronavirus. Russia continues to record thousands of new COVID-19 cases every day. To minimize the risk of infection, the vote has been held over the course of a week. In 2 cities, including Moscow, residents could even vote online. And to further encourage turnout, July 1st was declared a public holiday.
Holding a plebiscite in a pandemic presented huge challenges, but the vote was deemed too important to delay again. Election monitors have raised concerns about the methods, but giving the vote legitimacy was a priority for Vladimir Putin.
Polls have suggested falling trust in the president over the coronavirus outbreak, but the majority of Russians still support the man they see as a symbol of stability.
Putin is unparalleled in Russia, much more popular, much more trusted and approved than any other member of the political establishment in Russia. With all other institutions of power being emasculated, Putin, as it were, is politics, to the extent that politics is about reconciling different interests.
Even those who would prefer another leader have widely backed the constitutional changes. They had no option to pick and choose, only to reject or accept them all. The constitutional changes envision the future of Russia, a more socially conservative society with a bigger welfare state, one that puts its own laws and narratives above all others, and could be led by one man for many years to come. Julia Chapman, CGTN, Moscow.
Okay, thank you very much. Julia Chapman joining us there from Moscow.